Hello, greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the BFC. How you guys doing today? What a great day today. What a great day. Now, I'm just being a little sarcastic. My Braves are getting their asses handed to them right now by Bryce Harper and the Phillies. And let's see, my buddy Anthony DeVideo. I think you're from the Philly area. So I don't know if you put Bryce Harper up to this, but what the hell, man? I'm telling you, game's tied, series tied at 1. And it's just very, very frustrating because this happened last year. The Phillies booted us out real quick, and the Braves have been on fire all year, like the team to beat all year. And I could just tell, like, the last couple of weeks, the way they were playing, I'm just like, you could just sense it. This is like, that's what we have. And, and these guys, I woke up nice and early Sunday morning, had some friends over. I made a huge breakfast pizza. I got a pot of coffee going. Buddy brought some donuts. And, it was supposed to be a celebration. And it was just a miserable, miserable experience watching the Bills lose to the Jacksonville Jags. But what can you do? Let's go to the chat and see who is joining me right now. And if you haven't, hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to this channel, and let's get this channel out there. There's a lot coming in with the BFC. And if you haven't joined the Discord yet, please join the Discord. But I think I have a room full of regulars today. So, yes, we know he's here. Oh, Jordhuga. Live chat is where it's at. I once knew a kung fu master named Wufat. Very good, Jord. Yes. And he says, Lord Hugga. The video, it's good to see you. Brian, let's go CYBL. Yeah, let's go CYBL. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Michael Singleton is in the house. Doc P, what's going on? Alicia E, hello to you. All right, who else do we have? We have Michael Barton, Phillies fan. Hey, dude, Michael, congrats on a great game. I mean, I love watching baseball regardless. And actually, the first Braves game I ever seen live was in Philly, and it was a great experience. We did win 8-2. It was a good experience. But no, the stadium was great. The fans are great. I know it's probably people are like, what the hell are you talking about? Phillies fans, Philadelphia fans? No, actually, it was a great experience. The stadium was excellent. We had a great time. I actually like the whole sports complex out in Philly, how everything's really close to each other. I think that's pretty cool. So enjoy this game because we're going to get you tomorrow. We're coming for you. 72C Bauer. All right. Who else do we have? Oh, yeah, we got tactical reviews. I just love saying tactical reviews. I think you have one of the coolest names, that joins the BFC, the tactical reviews. So, I don't know about this guy. Oh, we got Barry the Great. Barry the Great. Let's put your I got to get a new mouse on this computer. Yeah, I know. Producer Rob is like, yeah, get a new mouse already. Come on. I hope you feel better, Barry the Great. TPST at 13 cents last night and didn't buy, hoping to make it up on QIND. All right. Well, good to have you, Barry. Yep. The Bills lost. Well, I never. Okay, whatever. I'm getting you out of here. Get out of here. I did give him the link to the show, so he's more than welcome to hop on. Doug, how you doing? Good to have you. Craig Fisher, nice to have you here. John Don, BFC, it's dynamite. BFC, and we'll win the fight. Hey, I like the fam we have growing here. Pam Stewart, well, I'm glad you're here, Pam. Great to have you. And we got Gordy. How would you like to be an 85-year-old Cleveland Browns fan like me? Every time I think it's bad for us. I just think of the Browns fans. I do, and and you got to laugh it off. Like when I saw the score because I was on my way home from work and doing stuff with the kids and stuff, running around. And when I saw the score, my buddy's like, "Oh, I thought you were watching the game." And he goes, "It's 1-0. It's 1-0 Atlanta." I'm like, "Ah, good." Then he goes 1-1. I'm like, "All right, it's tied." So when I checked in on my phone, I'm like, "All right, it's gonna be, 1-1, maybe 2-1 or whatever." And it's like 6-1. I'm like, "All right, I'm not even gonna turn it on. I'm just gonna shut it off." And and that's the thing about playoff baseball is that you can't always catch a game because it's not like it's amped up to one game a week, like it is with football where you're rotating your schedule around it. Yeah, I'm going on a sports rant today, but you could tell it's eating me up. But you know what I'm saying? And here he is. Yeah, he understands what I feel. Wayward, you are a Browns fan. And so you understand what Gordy is going through, and what I was going through last Sunday. He was actually over here watching the game, and yeah, it was it was just not. Actually, what the funny thing about Wayward was? We were over here watching the game, right? And we were streaming it through Hulu, And the pretty damn like we're watching this and they're like, man, you're like, it's late. Like it's it was 20 minutes past 9:30, and we're like, well, I thought it was supposed to start at 9:30, and then we restarted it and realized that the game already started, which was pretty funny. So we like lost like 6 minutes of football game time, which is like 15 minutes in real time. So is it funny? The last 2 minutes of football takes about 20 minutes. Mind blowing. But hey, yeah, Wayward, it was good hanging out with you, man. So yeah, we're gonna discuss a couple things today. I want to discuss ILUS, Impact Fusion, ticker IFUS, and I want to talk CYBL. There are a lot of investments now, and so like right now, and I know this is true for a lot of you guys, I'm sort of like in a like chill out and just accumulate phase and be bored with it and be like, all right, you look for excitement when it's going to happen, but I do feel like I am placing a lot of good trades right now, a lot of good investments right now. And so somebody commented on, maybe they're watching today because this guy likes to troll me. I don't know, I forgot what his name is, Papa Barrio or something like that, but he's like, he mentioned on my channel. So, hey, Papa Bear, if you're here, hey, nice to see you. Thanks for watching again. So leave your comment down below. But no, the truth is, I have called some decent plays, especially with IGPK ran 400%. It was down to 0007 at that mark again, and it ran up to 14 almost again. It was like 13.5 or whatever it was. So, and I think that's a great long-term hold. You could have made your money there. I'm not telling you this is not financial advice. Yeah, I didn't put up the disclaimer because Rob isn't here today, so I was very irresponsible. But I also, called IFUS at 12.1, and it's now I'm up 160% on that with my profits taken. So I'm very comfortable with what I'm doing here, and clearly you guys are too, and you've been following this journey. I'm not giving you 30 or 40 stocks. I'm giving you companies that I think are going to sustain themselves through economic pullback, high inflationary period, and are going to succeed in the next 1 to 2 years, and they have long-term plans. That's just my opinion. So yeah, you know what? I had to drag him in. Hey, let's bring him in. You know who I'm going to bring in? The biggest paid pumper on StockTwits, Discord, and YouTube, and Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordhuga. Jordhuga, congratulations on winning the biggest paid pumper award. How are you doing?
Well, I was doing pretty well before, but honestly, it's difficult to put into words how well I'm doing now. I'd like to thank, of course, God and my parents for this honor, and the whole BFC community. You can't be a paid pumper without pay. So, thank you so much.
I laugh at it because like when somebody's talking about like somebody land-based you, and I responded on Twitter, but I deleted the post because I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. Because I will clap back when I have to, but I try not to be that person. I really do. Anybody who has followed my posts on social media, I'm very well behaved. I am. I mean, trust me, there's times I want to fire off on somebody, but I did fire off on this guy. So he goes, seeing you got your discounted shares, blah, blah, blah. Shouldn't you consider yourself a paid pumper? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, you paid $50,000 for him. The truth is like people that aren't investing that much, you're not gonna do that kind of business with a company. But when you're putting $50,000 in, when you're like a Brett Rosen who gives a company $1 million, you're damn right you're gonna get a discount on shares. These are smaller companies that are looking to expand, and obviously those deals are going to be a little bit advantageous for people like you that have the ability to put in that money. And you know what? You must be confident in the company. And when I saw you do that, I'm like, oh yeah, obviously I feel even better about my investment knowing you did what you did. So any thoughts you want to share on that whole fiasco?
Yeah, I mean, well, first, the irony is not lost on me that I paid to be a paid pumper, so I am the worst paid pumper in the history of man. But really, I think the key takeaway is that in these very uncertain, economic times, there's all these terrible things happening in the world. In Israel, there's the potential for war to reach Serbia, and all of this can affect all of the companies, but especially the one that we're in, ILUS. And so the biggest problem that faces these OTC companies right now is lack of liquidity and funds. They don't have the money that they need. And what people fail to realize is that when you trade on the open market alone, that the company receives none of those funds. Mm-hmm. So by directly reaching out to them, yes, I was able to pick up extra shares, which obviously was, why I did it. But the bigger picture was to make sure that ILUS has the money that they need to accomplish what they want to accomplish. And I know that at least 10 or 11 people following my lead actually went and got preferred placements as well. And so I would advocate for anyone who has any interest in any company to reach out to the company, because all they can say is no. And in times like this, if you're already invested, which I was heavily, giving them more money is the best situation possible, not just for myself, but also for the company. Because again, anybody who runs out of money can have issues. And so if we keep bolstering them up financially and supporting them online, AKA paid pumping, then then of course, the likelihood is that we'll be one of the companies that survives into the next bull cycle.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you know what? It's not easy to stomach this market. And I'm learning, this is the first time I'm experiencing and really diving into it, because it was easy to get all excited and barrel into the hype and, let's do it, about our money and we're going to be rich. No, but that was the mentality in 2021 and 2020, leading into that. But no, the truth is it's not easy to do. And, I tend to joke a lot about this. I know you and I can have some laughs about it, but it's not easy. There's days where you're like, oh my God, I want it to run already. Or like, it's a good investment. You're like, oh my God, that was great news. Why is the market responding like that? And, I do think a lot of OTC traders, especially, are a little short-sighted and they take more profits. And but you know what? It is what it is, because I do think that there are a lot of long-term OTC shareholders too. And I think ultimately the great companies are going to prevail. The companies that are increasing revenues, the companies that are growing, the companies that have, thousands of employees, hundreds of employees, and I'm talking about CYBL, I'm talking about ILUS. That's substantial. The companies that are, increasing their profit margin, their net profit, and like it's just all that stuff. Like the companies that are increasing their network. It's just common sense to me that when the economy, when big money does come back into the OTC, when things are firing on all cylinders for our economy, yeah, I think that it's going to reward those companies that have built a solid foundation, like JP would say, during a pullback. That's my opinion, I guess.
No, I agree with you. And, I think that the important word is context, right?
Hmm.
People are probably going to be trading quite a bit differently than they did in the 2021 bull market than they would today in the bear market that we're in. And I don't discriminate against anyone for their choice on how to make money in the market. Flippers, scalpers, anything that you can do to make money is why we do this. I just know that because of my own personal situation, working constantly and not being able to watch the markets when I'm at work, that for me to take advantage of this, I had to take a buy and hold approach, because I don't have the ability to day trade during the day as so many others don't. One of the things that I keep taking away from this is how many people online are just projecting their own emotions and feelings onto other people, which I find especially surprising and difficult to stomach, because you don't know their situation, you don't know their entries, exits, averages, what their plan is. And so I find it reckless, really, just to throw it out into the void and accuse people, officers of the company themselves, and or supporters or the Discord members that support the company. Almost every one of those people at one time was on Team ILUS, and for whatever reason, they decided that they did not want to be on the team anymore. And
I could give you a reason.
Well, sure. And it's completely, I think the other point that is missed is that nobody's trying to silence anyone's voice. We are just not going to give a platform to hate, anger, and misinformation.
Yeah. I like Gordy has this right. I think invest in successful people and you will be successful. I think that, and this is where it comes, and that's why I'm looking at through my investment. And I know you and I talk a lot about this. Finding companies that you could reach out to and have a conversation with, have a cup of coffee with, and say, what are your plans? What are you planning to do? Is that always going to work out? No, it's not always going to work out, but I guess like the word context, it gives greater context into what you are investing in. And so, I like that whole, surround yourself with, if you surround yourself with pessimists and negative people and they're always cranky, you're going to walk around miserable. If you surround yourself with people that are successful, if you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, you're going to be happier. I'm not saying that that's always the case, bad things happen all the time, but like you increase your chance for success when you surround yourself with strong people, successful people, people that are going to build you up, not put you down. And that's really what what I want to get here. And I know you and I have talked about this, is like creating a community that one contributes. With our Discord, we want people contributing due diligence. There's a couple of you that as soon as the PR comes out, boom, you guys put it in the room, and that's great. One hand does wash the other. And so, building that community of solid people that want to build each other up. And I think that's, now listen, trading is not a team sport. We all know, we all have heard that a lot. But when it comes to due diligence, I think that we can have these platforms and use them to maximize our chances on retaining a solid investment. And like I said, I'm all about the due diligence. I'm all about sitting down with the people and talking with them. And hey, listen, I want to get a chart guy on here too, or a chart lady, whoever, to bang through a chart and give you guys maybe what they think could be a good entry or exit or whatever, because that makes it fun too. Because we got that's why we get into this too. It's a little fun to have short term trades as well. We've all done it, have a little short trade. Why not?
No, absolutely. And
There's nothing wrong with that. And I know I got in trouble once for saying the word flipper. It's not. Or flipping. It's not flipping. Well, it is. Like I call, when you're flipping a trade, if you're flipping, you're going short. That's a term I use. People could disagree with me, but whatever. There's no shame in that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
no, the one thing I would bring up, especially, and I don't know, I think we have it posted in the BFC, but I know that it's in the ILUS Discord, is Blue Line Major posted a wonderful old tweet before tweeting was Xing. And it was about seller boxing. And it's basically a playbook from the brokers back, and I forget the year, I want to say 94, that they basically talk about how and why they do this activity. And essentially they run the price down through naked shorting. And it has a twofold approach of not only pushing the share price down, but getting it into, and this is just the example I think they used, the difference between 0007 and 0009 is the inability for regular retail to really take advantage of this. But then every time they do, they're making these huge gains in a non-regulated exchange or broker-dealer network, because there are not the same rules on the OTC that exist on the larger exchanges. And so to not realize this as a problem by its very nature, and then when you add in the fact that we are in a bear market, liquidity always goes down first in the OTC and returns last when the bull markets take hold, that I think it's very important to understand that. And that's why it's so critical for ILUS to be doing the uplist of QIND, because not only will it send a signal, I think, to larger investors and to get more eyes on the company, but it lets them know that they're not going to get pushed around by anybody. Nobody's going to come into their house and tell them what to do. They'll go to the bigger exchanges, even if they have to do it one company at a time and drag the other companies up with them.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I agree. I agree with you, man. I really do. So I do want to get into the nitty gritty. I don't want to have too long of a show tonight, but I want to be consistent. I want to have consistency on the show. And so Wednesday is our day, and I'm glad there's 46 of you here. Throw 46 likes on this live stream. Please do it. Share the video, and if you haven't subscribed, I really appreciate it. I'd like to like really amp things up and get to that 2,000 subscriber mark, but we'll see what happens. We'll see when I hit that. I think I'm gonna hit it by March. That's my thought. I think it's gonna be March. So yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me. Whoever puts it in the chat first. What should we talk about first? Should we talk about IFUS, ticker IFUS, ILUS, or CYBL or RMRK? What do we want to talk about? Arlex, listen, sir. Hey is not a ticker, but hey, how are you doing, brother? I hope you're doing really, really well. So you guys tell me which one, or I'm just gonna pick. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What are we talking? All right, that's it. I'm gonna do it. Oh, RMRK. Okay, I didn't expect somebody to say that, but okay, RMRK. Let's talk about the bills. I already talked about the bills, Alex. Okay, I will. RMRK. Very small point with RMRK. I'm still in it. I'm still looking to accumulate. I think that they are going to solidify this Blue Nutric acquisition very, very soon. And I don't know if you want to share any thoughts on that, but I think that if you bid 7, you're going to be happy. I think there's really strong bid support. I think it was 60 million the other day, at 6. And I don't think they want to let this thing slip below 6. I think that Jordan Starkman, who I have had on the channel, is very transparent. I'm on a text basis with him, and you know what? He really wants this thing to get done, and I have a really good feeling about RMRK. It's just going to take some time. So those are my thoughts. I don't have any video clips or anything to share or any new news with RMRK because I like how they're actually just keeping it to like what they're doing. They're keeping like when they have news, they're going to deliver it. They're not like these companies. I know. Big news coming soon. Stay tuned. I hate that. Big news coming soon. Stay tuned. Look at what ticker RITE just did like months ago. Oh, you expect to hear more from this Twitter feed or account or whatever, and it's like, man, it's like they do that, and then they maybe they wanted to get one more pump out of it. I don't know, but so I like the fact that RMRK is doing that, and they're just sticking to the guns. They're not just putting out random pumping PRs. But you know what? I hope that this acquisition gets solidified in the next month. I really do. I was hoping it would be done by now, but it's not that big of a deal because I rolled in all my shares with profit. So see, you learn these things. So any thoughts on RMRK, Jordan?
It's one of the I don't actually own any shares, so I don't track it nearly as much. Unfortunately, I've been out of work, and so I'm looking forward to going back to work and having more capital so that I can actually get invested, because you talk about it all the time, and I feel like I feel like I'm letting down the BFC community when I don't own shares in something that I talk about. So like the great RLAX, I am going to politely pass.
Right on. All right, and somebody did mention CYBL, and I'm going to look up, and this is what I'm just going to bring this up. So I'm doing a little live DD. Actually, I had this pulled up before, but let's start some screen sharing. All right, let's talk CYBL. I think this thing is going to get out of control. I think it's going to fly out of the gate when that CE comes off and we are pink current. And when it goes to pink limited, I think pink limited is the next step. Huge things. Let's take a look at the most recent thing. And there's a lot going on here. So let's talk a little CYBL. I'm going to share the screen the way that he tells me not to, where it turns into a million windows. Wow! So this guy right here, Bill Matarini, this guy works with Datron. All right. There's a lot of connections. He actually posted that he was at, and this was on October 9th, at the U.S. Embassy in Beirut with Mark Schmidt. So that is absolutely amazing that they must be working on some new deals. I'm assuming this guy hasn't stopped. Mark is a hustler. He works his ass off. I really hope to have him back on the show. I think it would be a great way to kick off Pink Current, but trust me, I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's doing other things, being on the BFC, but it was a great honor having him on, and I appreciated his time. So Mark, if you are listening, please come back on the show. You name the date and time, and we'll do it. And they did have an update. The U.S. Embassy in Beirut has not evacuated and is open and operating normally. Reports saying otherwise are false. For more information and travel advisories, visit our embassy website. By the way, for everybody going through this, and I didn't want to open up with this, for everybody going through this, there's a lot of people from all over the world that watch this channel. I hope you're well. I hope that all your loved ones are safe. And it's really sad with everything going on in the world, especially with what's happening in Israel. Just stay safe out there. The world is a messed up place. It really is. And when I saw that they were in Beirut, I'm like, all right. And then what happened, unfortunately. And I'm like, this could be, and I hate to say the word opportunity, but they say never let a crisis go to waste. I think that they're going to end up helping in this situation, especially when the fact that when you looked at the attack that happened, there were drones being used. So I do hope that they're able to assist in any way they can, to root out the terrorists that are the Hamas terrorist group, because I just think it's disgusting when you read the stories. It's absolutely atrocious. But I want to keep it to the stock. So if any of you guys are feeling the burn and really upset, and just if you have friends and family over there, I wish you the best, and I hope your families are safe. I hope your friends are safe. And you know what? Stay safe here too. Always be vigilant. So the Bill Matarini, I hope I'm saying his name right. Do you think I'm saying that right, Jordan? Bill Matarini?
That's how I pronounce it, but I don't. I haven't heard it.
I said Matarini. It's Matarani. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I mean, you know, I think this is going to be an opportunity. But this guy, you know, he has a ton of experience. Look at his LinkedIn. He's part of the Overseas Security Advisory Council. And so University of Rochester, he is right across the way, you know, with his School of Business Administration. That's crazy, right down the road. But if you look, you know, the chief revenue officer for the Cyberlux / Datron World Communications. And like I said before, he's been there 15 years. He's not a flyby. He knows the business. He's obviously successful. And he is in the overseas. He's a public chairman, Overseas Security Advisory Council. You know, so let's look at what they do. And this is very crucial and very key. And this, you know, I guarantee you has a lot to do with why they're in Beirut. And now with everything happening, I think they're going to try to lend their assistance in any way, shape, or form. Just like they did when, just like Mark did in Ukraine successfully. And I got to say, you know, he will put himself in the thick of it. He'll go right in. He went right over to Ukraine. He was able to get over to in Ukraine. Batshit crazy, but whatever. You know, that's the kind of tenaciousness you need to succeed. You need that grit. You need that drive. Those are the kind of people I want to invest in. People like that. People that have the balls. Yeah, I got drones that can help. Yep. See you in Ukraine. You know, so they're not just sitting by the wayside. They're getting things done. So let's look at this council. All right. The Overseas Security, the OSAC, I called it. Yes, the Overseas Security Advisory Council is a federal advisory committee established under authority of the Secretary of State. And so the council is made up of private sector representatives from 31 U.S. organizations operating abroad and 3 public sector representatives from United States government agencies. Together, these representatives provide guidance and recommendations to the Department of State to enhance the security of U.S. organizations operating abroad, and providing guidance and recommendations to approve OSAC program office-led initiatives. This public-private structure ensures a balanced assessment of these priorities. The council is chaired by the Department of State's Director of Diplomatic Security Service and co-chaired by one of the council's private sector members. Council terms typically range between 2 and 6 years, but may include additional terms in leadership positions. The council meets quarterly and additionally serves on subcommittees dedicated to specific projects. So you could see the OSAC organizations here: American Airlines, Anheuser-Busch, AT&T, Ball Corporation. This is a huge deal for CYBL. I can't stress that enough. I can't. And listen, do I think that there are going to be some traders that are what's the word I'm thinking of? They're going to be in and out. I think a lot of Canadian traders that have loaded up are going to be out of this thing by 2 or 3 cents. I think they're going to retain shares long term, possibly. I mean, people are going to do what they do, but I mean, this is freaking huge. It's huge. Jordan, give me your thoughts on CYBL. Go for it, dude.
Well, first, I just wanted to thank Mark. I think that the picture that he shared is actually in front of the memorial from the 1983 bombings of the embassy. I'm not positive, but I saw that the Marine Corps flag was at half mast, and there's some names back there. So, to all the people that, served and sacrificed, thank you so much. That, we're here to make money, but they have a product that can absolutely make a difference. Obviously, with all of the visibility from the Ukrainian war and all of the drones that you are seeing and hearing about in the news, I know as an investor and as people that are buying into CYBL that we would obviously like some more clarity, but it's very obvious with the CE on and, with everything that's going on in the world and security concerns and whatnot, that they can't really tell you as much as we would probably like to know. I also find it fascinating totally expected that the United States would pretend to protect us under these rules and make it impossible for us to buy these stocks. But it does not disallow, like you were saying, our Canadian friends and some other people in the rest of the world. And so based on the market cap alone, I think at what it's trading at right now, it's so ridiculously low that if somebody just dropped a pack of gum in the parking lot of CYBL, that you'd still be up 250% based on the current share price. It really is silly when you see how the discrepancies and the disparities between the value and the actual share price and how far apart they can sometimes get. I see nothing but good stuff in the future. I'm personally hoping, like you are, that they just remove the CE and then just can go pink current. But there's other options. They could also just bypass that entirely if they can meet the criteria to uplist to a larger exchange. And then even though I think that this is probably the least likely option, there's also the option that they could be bought out by another or larger defense company or this and that, which would obviously be super advantageous to current shareholders. So long term, I'm as bullish as I've ever been on any stock, including ILUS. I think it's a wonderful company. I think Mark's doing a great job. They absolutely made some missteps and foibles and did some things they weren't supposed to do. They got the CE put on them in the first place. But due to some reassuring language and tweets from Brett Rosen and Mark and other people, that it obviously seems like they're doing what they need to do behind the scenes to get this remedied as quickly as possible. And so I'm just hoping that they do in a timely enough fashion. I mean, it feels like forever. Every day you wait.
We're approaching a year. I mean,
that's it. But again, within that year, they still announced the acquisition, which was huge. I forget. I think it's like 73 or 78 million. It's really
George, 807. It's like since the 2022, I think 870 million, almost $1 billion in contracts.
Yeah, like, it's going to be crazy.
It is going to be crazy. Now, if you look at the chart, I mean, if you look at the chart for that, I mean, obviously there was one year they had like something stupid, like 200 something million in contracts or whatever. And you're going to have your higher years and your lower years, but it looks like, and it's down. And it looks like it's on an uptick where they're about to get more of the department for that. I mean, dude, that's great. I mean, when I saw the numbers for Daytron that they've done, and now that the fact that they're rolling into CYBL, I think that this could be unbelievably huge. I'm talking like, I think they're going to get hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts, hundreds of millions of dollars. Not even joking.
No, listen, I agree. And then saying, very much, even though we don't know the details, and I'm not trying to pivot to ILUS, but they could also be doing like an SPV situation or something where they're actually using that acquisition as a way to get out of the OTC itself, or how, or to get the CE removed by uplisting to the larger exchange, or, basically just trying to figure out something that they can do so that they can get back to business as usual. But I think that it really is, I think it's really great. It'd be a lot better if our viewers could buy it, or at least the American ones.
Yeah, right.
But I'm personally, we talk about it a lot. I'm doing everything I can right now to try to figure out how to get more shares.
Yeah, I know we've been sort of on that quest, and the quest is starting to bear some fruit, which is nice. I wish I had the chart pulled up, and I don't. What chart is this? No, this isn't it. But I'll see. I should have said. I should have had this pulled up. I did cover it last week, though. I did. This isn't me not doing due diligence. I actually had the whole chart pulled up, and there was a boatload. I pulled up the contracts. I pulled up what they got, and they subcontract things out. But the subcontracts weren't near as much. I mean, it was all their contract. So they didn't sub out a lot. So I don't know. I'm happy about CYBL. I think they're going to nail this thing. I think they're going to put up huge numbers, the likes of which the OTC have not seen before. So and who else is doing that? ILUS is doing that too. So why don't we talk a little bit about ILUS now? Right. Let's take a look, and we're only just going to cover the recent PR. I've been sort of quiet on this. I'm not here to just pump ILUS nonstop. There'll be a time for that. Trust me.
That's my job, sir. There can only be one paid pumper. Let's,
George's the best. He's the best paid pumper. And he even pays for it. So, and we're going to talk IFUS too, guys. If you're here for CYBL or ILUS and you haven't, looked into IFUS yet, you need to stay to the end. I'm serious. I had the CEO on the show. We're going to look at, at the chart over the last 4 years or so. This thing is a ticking time bomb, and well, I'll get there in a second, but I do want to talk ILUS because, I just won't cover an ILUS video. Somebody goes, can you do an ILUS update? I will, and that's why, like, I could have done this, Friday, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to make it, I don't want to feel like I just want to put it up nonstop. Boom. Here's ILUS. Here's ILUS. Here's ILUS. Because I only want to go based on the news, or if JP wants to sit down and have a one-on-one, boom, I'd love to have him on. And so yeah, basically, I'm sorry, they're screaming in my living room. Oh, those kids, they're getting all crazy over there. My gosh. All right. Well, let's
They heard you say ILUS.
They did. They got all excited. They got all excited. See, I didn't say moon. I didn't say moon yet. Not yet. All right, but let's get into the PR that they recently had. It's loaded, Can you guys see that? Is the screen pulled up?
Yep.
All right. ILUS sitting at a healthy 1.96 cents. All right. Sorry, I got to laugh. ILUS finalizes acquisition and provides shareholder update. ILUS industrial subsidiary, Quality International. I'm sorry. It is really mayhem out there. This is why, I got to get that belt out. No, I'm just kidding. I don't beat my kids, but they're screaming, there's crying. I'm going to play this for them tomorrow and be like, this is why you're not getting any supper. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. I feed my kids, believe it or not. ILUS's industrial subsidiary, Quality Industrial Corp, successfully filed its S1 registration statement on the 19th of September, 2023. Subsidiary is now awaiting comments from the SEC, following which the registration statement will be updated with the underwritten offering. As communicated, following effectiveness of the S1, QIND intends to uplist to the New York Stock Exchange American. The subsidiary is currently in a quiet period. As per the business plan presented to shareholders in January 2023. Oh, we were there, Jord. And the following in the footsteps of QIND, ILUS has finalized the acquisition of a company as a special purpose vehicle to roll out the next phase of its subsidiary business plan. I want you to let that stew in your brain for a second, Jord, because I want your thoughts. I'm very excited to hear a little speculation from you. Continuing on, over the past few months, our team has been extremely focused on delivering the business plan for our public safety and renewable subsidiaries in particular. Although market conditions have been exceptionally challenging and filing of the QIND S1 took an immense and lengthy effort by our QIND team, we have nonetheless made vital progress across our businesses and completed several stages of the important negotiations necessary for us to roll out the next chapter of our business plan, said ILUS Managing Director JP Backwell. We have a broad set of skills and experience on our team, including the likes of Dan Peters and several very experienced and committed team members. Each subsidiary has its own CEO or managing director who have continued to work with JP and myself to progress their businesses behind the scenes. No part of our business has been neglected, and while some have been at the forefront of news over the past few months, we have ensured that the leadership of each subsidiary has continued to make simultaneous progress. We now look forward to announcing our strategic acquisition and exhibiting results of the progress made in our businesses. And that was ILUS CEO Nick Link. Now, this is cool. During the third quarter, ILUS finalized a strategy and administrative procedures to spin out several of its public safety businesses into Emergency Response Technologies, which is wholly owned by ILUS. The ERT strategy will be rolled out over the coming months, and the subsidiary also intends to complete further acquisitions to add United States-based firefighting and ambulance manufacturing, as well as global wildfire equipment range to its portfolio. And that is one thing, which is why many of us invested in the first place. So, yeah, it's great to hear that. Now, this is key. There was lots of chatter about like Georgia Fire and Rescue and the American companies not doing as well. Well, that's not the case. So anybody that was thinking that, here's the truth. In the United States, Georgia Fire and Rescue Supplies had a strong third quarter with increasing order quantities and started the fourth quarter with over 1 million in new purchase orders. This is a positive step for the business, which has historically turned over $300,000 to $450,000 per month. And ILUS expects that GFR will deliver significant growth over its 2022 results. Furthermore, after discussions with a global wildfire equipment and vehicle manufacturer, GFR has obtained distribution rights for their wildfire equipment and vehicles in Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee. These products will soon be loaded onto the GFR website, and an upgrade to their website is also underway to incorporate several new challenges and additions. And we actually discussed that live months ago, and he did address that. In Tennessee, Bullhead Products, BHP, has continued its steady growth. During August, ILUS moved a senior operations manager from its head office in Dubai to be based in Georgia and oversee operations at both GFR and BHP, which are within a 4-hour drive of each other. As a result, the company has seen significant improvements in the operational efficiency at both businesses. BHP is currently seeking larger facilities in the Kodak Knoxville area of Tennessee in order to increase its production capacity. Moving on. This is a meaty PR, guys. I mean, like, seriously, it was a pleasure to read. In the Middle East, ILUS has incorporated its ERT Middle East division and is currently completing the administrative procedures to consolidate its local public safety businesses into the regional division. The company is also merging the operations of BCD Fire and Al Shola Safety, who both service the fire protection sector. All right, it's good to know what AS services. ILUS believes that merging the two businesses, which have the same target market, will reduce their operating costs by as much as 40% and increase their ability to bid for and win larger contracts. ILUS's regional firefighting equipment and rapid response vehicle manufacturer, Firebug Mechanical, has bid on several contracts with a total value of $19 million and is currently shortlisted in a $3.5 million bid to supply rapid intervention firefighting vehicles to Saudi Arabia's NEOM region, NEOM. During the third quarter, ILUS shifted Firebug's firefighting equipment development and manufacturing to a facility outside of Belgrade in Serbia. We all saw the pictures. That looks great. The company also delivered several orders to distributors in India and the Middle East and is subsequently ramping up its product development, testing, and manufacturing capability out of the Serbian facility. At the same time, in Serbia, several E-Raptor 6x6 commercial electrical utility vehicles are nearing production completion, with 3 vehicles already ordered by a local municipality. Although there was a delay in delivery of 2 major components for the East, which has impacted the production line, it is expected that the first batch of vehicles will be delivered in November, while sourcing has already been completed for production of the new 4x4 range, which will commence early in the first quarter of 2024. ILUS has promising developments underway for its renewables subsidiary, which now includes both Replay Solutions and E-Raptor EV Technologies. The company intends to make further renewables subsidiary announcements during the fourth quarter, with substantial growth expected for the subsidiary over the next 12 months. We're almost there, guys. Regarding the previously announced plans for the special equity dividends in the form of QID and or ERT stock for ILUS shareholders, the company plans to release further details, including the record date for shareholders as and when appropriate. Details regarding the intended QID dividend are planned for release once S1 comments are obtained, and there is additional clarity regarding timing of the planned QID uplisting. ILUS wishes to inform shareholders that its next annual shareholder meeting will take place in Miami on Friday, the 26th of January, 2024. And, they're going to summarize their results and lay out their business plan. So who won the bet, Jordan? I did.
Yeah, you did.
It did. Well, I'll see you in Miami. Yes, I'm going. So listen, I will be there in January, come hell or high water. And we're going to have a good time. I don't care what the share price is at, because if it's this low, I will have millions of shares by that point. Nick Link concluded, we continue to roll out the business plan as presented to shareholders. Although we have encountered significant hurdles along the way and some aspects of our progress have been delayed, we have grown the business substantially and delivered small key milestones. We are working harder than ever to progress and deliver the remaining plans which we have communicated to shareholders, and nothing has changed in that regard. We may have had to adapt under the conditions, but regardless of what the market throws at us and related challenges we may face, we continuously find a way through or around the obstacles and steadily deliver our conglomerate vision. And so, with that, I'm just going to say my biggest concern, obviously, is stabilization in the Middle East and Eastern Europe. Conflicts possibly between Serbia and Kosovo. Right now, they're in Dubai with everything happening in the Middle East with Hamas, Palestine, Iran, and Israel. And yes, I did throw Iran in there because I think they are, sort of the funder and all this, but I'm not going to get into that. But I think they play a major role. And so I do for me those are some reluctancies there, but nothing has changed, and I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised with the numbers. It's nice to see the strong numbers for the U.S. Companies as well. So I just read that whole thing. It was meaty. It was a meaty interview. That was her bedtime story. Jord, thoughts?
Yeah, so super easy transition. Yep, let me just choke up on the bat and go for the old grand slam here, like I play for the Phillies.
Yeah, right. Hey, well, come on now, man.
Hey,
it wasn't a grand slam. No.
So, no. So first and foremost, they announced the annual shareholders meeting on January 26th. So we have that to look forward to. Let me know what other OTC companies are meeting up with their shareholders every year. With the potential, for disruptions, is that I know getting parts and pieces in my job from all over the world, that everything post-COVID was impossible. I mean impossible. There was a chip shortage worldwide, so anything that had a microchip in it was delayed. There was difficulty in getting all kinds of parts and pieces because, very much like the supply chain, that any one part of it that breaks down, it all breaks down. And so I think what people have to understand is that the plans and what ILUS was trying to do at the time was very much like the supply chain. There's multiple different moving parts and companies that synergistically can work together to both make more money and have it cost them less money. But if even one or two of these things is delayed or pushed off, which we know that it was with Serbia and some other things that we're probably not privy to, but we can assume happened just based on the market conditions changing, that it obviously threw a little bit of a wrench into the plan, and so they had to adjust. Now that I saw that they have the E-Raptors floating off the line, I think it said 3. That was amazing. And that just, that's proof of concept. That means that we know that it's possible now. And now we just have to wait to see how the market responds and how useful it is, being the only 6-wheel, EV vehicle that's available. And if we are lucky enough to see the mist nozzle technology on the back of it or some of the other configurations that they can use, I'm really, really excited to see that. In addition, like you said, there's always the opportunity to have problems become solutions, and I think that they are very good at doing that. They renegotiated some of their terms with Serbia and actually got better terms than initially thought. Right now, with that super meaty PR, JP just like Valforest, on Twitter, which I would love to see them come into the fold in some capacity. We still have yet to hear from Dan Peters and ERT, and he is the sleeping dragon. The reverence in which they speak about him, and to have a conversation with him, I so look forward to seeing him again in Miami if he's able to attend. There's really just a lot going on, but the obvious, closest catalyst that we have is going to be the QIND uplist. And being that right now we're just basically waiting for the official no comments to come back from the SEC, and then we can roll out with a roadshow, that's going to put, the name of ILUS and QIND, because it's all correlated. So to think that one is going to move up in price and the other one won't, while it's not necessarily known exactly what that correlation is, it's a positive one. And so it's going to alter the price. Mm-hmm. And so when they actually do the roadshow, they're going to be, and I think it's remotely and digitally, I don't think they do it live in person, but they're going to be presenting to approximately 200 different investors. And so as each one of these investors sees this, they do exactly what we do, and they talk to their friends and other people about finance. And so they're going to be telling other people what they saw. And that's basically when you're going to see the floodgates open, where they will have the ability to start purchasing. And that has not happened yet. So everything you're seeing right now is retail posturing in preparation for this inevitability. The last thing that I would add is frustration is palpable. times like this, I heard my neighbor who does real estate talking to somebody who's a well-known wealthy person complaining that they had to shop at Target and these things because, times are getting so tough. And again, the irony is not lost on us going, yes, please, can you get your Mercedes off my yard? That it's difficult for everyone. And so it's easy to let your emotions take over and to lash out. And all I would say is those feelings are normal and expressing them is acceptable. It's just not great to maybe yell it and scream it on these huge forums to a whole bunch of people, or, when you could scream it into the void or a pillow, or have a private conversation with somebody offline or in a smaller room, because everyone gets frustrated, everyone gets mad. But when you realize the amount of work the company's doing, Karsten and JP put in 120 hours the week that they submitted the S1, that this is probably a pretty good indicator of why we're not getting all the PRs, videos, and things that we have, because I will take a company that delivers and doesn't have time to do interviews over somebody who's on YouTube 27 hours a day and doesn't seem to be getting anything done with the company.
100%, dude. I agree, dude. I agree. I like, and I talked to JP, since then, and it's a thing. Like, do you want updates, or do you know people were complaining about the updates? And I like the fact they're just boom. They like that PR was worth the wait, man. Anybody that has patience, they covered everything in that PR. It was nice, and they gave little breadcrumbs in there, especially with the SPV, the special purpose vehicles. I'm excited. I remember when WSFT happened. You remember that?
Very well.
I remember that. I remember I was camping with the family and there was nothing I had no money, no cash loaded up. I was unprepared, and that was years ago. But that was exciting, But I definitely stand by these guys. I think this is a great investing opportunity. If some of my other investments do pan out, which I anticipate, some of them will. And I do want to say, like, Wiggles mentioned this too, and he brought this up. Anyone flipping trips on IGPK. Quietest 100% run in the past 3 months. Twice it did that. So if you watch the stock, I mean, I really like my buying. I planned on buying more, but I waited. I should have got it at 5 when I had the chance. I could have bid set that, and but hindsight 2020. But that's another company. By the way, when we go down to Florida this time, I know that you're on IGPK too. We're totally gonna. I talked to Gene. We're gonna meet up for dinner. So yeah, I hope maybe I will do a little live with Gene Caeso and the crew from Integrated. That would be really cool. And so hopefully we'll get a chance to sit down with him in Florida in January. So, and if anybody else is in IGPK, maybe we could make a shareholder meeting. Maybe I could twist his arm into doing a small shareholder get together for Integrated shareholders. What do you think? That'd be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
double whammy.
Well, no, he can't say too much information to us privately, so it would really just be a meet and greet over dinner. But that's more than acceptable to me.
Totally.
I am so impressed with him, and not just his own personal growth, on the YouTube and putting out the different PRs and how comfortable he seems to be on camera now, but just the company in general. I think we used the analogy last time that, when all the gold rush miners went out to California to get rich, looking for nuggets, is that the real wealth was in selling the picks and shovels. And being that they actually process the product for all these other growers and whatnot, that the initial upstart costs have already been paid. And so as they double their production, they actually have that scalability to be able to process much more product, but it doesn't cost them any more money or time. And I believe Rob would have to verify for me that they get 50%, and that's just incredible. So if you add the fact that they're getting 50% of what they can very easily scale up, but there's no real additional cost to them, or they're nominal, that is absolutely incredible for profit margin and for shareholders. And then again, Gene making sure to put things in place to protect shareholder value, to not keep diluting, to not do these things. That is very impressive and very rare. And it's also what ILUS has done. And I really very much appreciate it, because so often, even in the pursuit of becoming a bigger and better company, the average retail investor can just get diluted down to nothing, even if the company succeeds.
Yeah, that's true. Technical reviews ask. Oh, yeah, there. So I was going to pull this up. I'm sorry. How do I attend the shareholders meeting? Great answer. IS will give us an email to send our ticket request for the shareholder meeting. So yeah, you basically sign up. You let them know, you know, how many people you plan on bringing, how many, it's a whole form, little easy form you fill out. It's very easy, and they communicate it very well. So keep an eye on their website and their Twitter account. They will post that, and then it'll be available for you. And somebody,
let me add
go right
one
ahead.
thing.
Yep.
Because the thing is, I don't want them to get inundated with emails because people are scared. So when they will put out a PR, and we will cover it. Everybody will cover it. You'll know about it. Is that once they put out the PR and then they see how many people actually respond back to it, that's when they will make the determination on where they have to hold the meeting based on the room size. So do not reach out to them asking them where it is, because they can't know where it is until they know how many of us are going. And that won't happen until they put out the PR with the little email chain that says, please do this to let us know that you're interested in attending.
Yeah, and we know it's in the Miami area. I know last year, Alex and I flew out to Fort Lauderdale, which we'll probably do that again. Boom, boom. I already started looking up flights. I'd love to get another direct. It's great when you get a direct, man. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what, who knows where we're going to be. In my mind, I'm anticipating it being at these levels in 3 months. Just, because I don't want to set the bar too high with share price wise, because 3 months is not a long time in the business world. It's an eternity as a trader and investor. It really is. So, and we know that, don't we, Jord? But we're learning. Well, I know I'm learning. You have a much more experience with than me when it comes to this, because you have more years in the game, old man. But no, it's true. I'm learning. This is the time to load and be patient. So one thing to see, and you let me dig you there. You're a gentleman. You really are.
Oh, I was just thinking, it's the first time I've heard a backhanded birthday cake analogy respond. So I liked it. I was like, this guy's creative. He works that birthday cake angle in there every chance he can.
That's way more experience than me. Than me. You're old, man. You're old, man. All right.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this interview to be over, and then I'm going to go attack you on Twitter after I have a few beers.
You're a paid pumper. I think Sam Maker's the paid basher. No, it's funny that the names they give. I love it. So Recovery Plus, IFUS has potential to take over the cattle feed industry and become a massive company worth multiple billions of dollars. Listen, let's check this out. Just look at this. If you are not in IFUS, look at this chart. I mean, this is just like, I like the lows here. I like it. I like where this is going. I really do. Right now, just look at this beautiful thing. We only have a cent more to go before we have 3-year highs. Jord, I mean, that's crazy. Am I losing my mind? But like, when I look at this, it looks very pleasing to the eye. I don't see a drop off. I see like higher lows, some pullback, higher lows. Boom. I think this is going to consolidate up here. I know it's a really crappy chart and I didn't draw any lines or anything, but I think we're going to consolidate a little bit up in this range. Like 3.5, it's actually 3.68. I think it was 3.68 where it was the exact marker of where there were a lot of asks right there. 3.68. I forgot how many shares it was. All right, I'm going to stop, just rambling about it, but go ahead and talk, Jordan. Sorry.
No, I just remember it's funny sometimes how the universe will present itself. Is I found IFUS thinking somebody typed ILUS incorrectly. So all of a sudden I found it, and I can, this is my opinion, but I can say that it's probably the most professionally run Discord that exists. And the competency of the professor and understanding that they have and the way that they're tracking the shares and the short interest and basically what SGP Plus is doing with the products for people that don't know is they take bagasse, which is basically the waste product from sugarcane processing, and through a chemical process are able to turn it into a feed product for cattle. And most people are probably not aware of how transformative this is going to be. But besides the fact that they're already solving one problem, which is the waste product from the sugarcane factories, which means that there's a super high profit margin, something like 80%, because they're already I don't think they're being paid, but it's free essentially for them to pick up this product that they turn into SGP plus. In addition to that, most of the studies that are coming back, and we're getting some anecdotal studies from the farmers that are using it and adopting it, is that it has all kinds of benefits, from increasing the nutritive value and the ability for digesting of the cows and the animals, to the point of actually reducing fly and larvae in the excrement and making sure that that's not a problem, which that's another huge issue for the health and basically the general well-being of the cattle. When they go into India, people also might not realize, being that everything you eat has sugar in it, that there's sugarcane factories everywhere. So the ability for them to scale up is infinite. They can go anywhere that there's a sugarcane factory, and this is to cut down on the transportation costs of bringing the bagasse in. That they are going to have this ability to scale up instantly, and then that's not even taking into account that the commodities that cattle eat have been fluctuating wildly, specifically hay, with the different problems in different areas depending on where you live. And as climate change increases and the temperature increases, it's going to get harder and harder and more difficult to be able to source all these things with a constant price. And so being able to use a product like SGP Plus, which you will always have that bagasse coming in, irregardless of this, that it's really going to offset the costs. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the numbers for how much it cost per head of cattle. And then when you start scaling up how many heads of cattle there are in the different countries, specifically India, Brazil, and the United States, that it is astronomical. The numbers here are off the charts, and the amount of information that can be freely ascertained by joining their Discord is, again, probably the best I've ever seen ever, and it's right up on par with some of the professional documentation that the actual hedge funds will purchase from professionals.
Right on. And let's look at it right here. And you mentioned this in the second paragraph here. And I'm gonna browse through this real quick. But guys, this company could explode, especially with the possible contracts with India. Let's read through this real quick. We firmly believe that our technology, when properly applied, following our protocols, is proven to increase herd health, reduces greenhouse gas emissions, can eliminate fly infestation. And by the way, I've been on IFUS for a long time now. Produces ideal Score 3 manure patties. Reduces the cost from $3.45 per day per head to 45 cents per day per head. Holy crap, reduction in cost. At the same time, while generating more revenue for the ranchers and the farmers, because they're producing healthier cattle at that point. We have the capability of producing 49 tons per week on a 6-day schedule. Using our existing equipment, we can run 2 10-hour shifts over 6 days. We have the capacity to feed America's herds of both cattle, of both beef and dairy cattle. The link below is a short video produced by Pixel TV. Shout out to Sam, which provides in-depth information about your product. And I'm actually going to put the link to this right in the description after I'm done with this, so that way you guys could click on all this and check it out, because it's freaking awesome. All right. And it's there's a ton of this. Like I said, this thing is under the radar, and people are going to be chasing this one. We have individually reached out to close to 300 extension agents in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Oklahoma via email, and will follow up phone calls to further discuss the opportunities afforded by using our technology platform. The extension agents are on the front lines working with ranchers and farmers to provide guidance and advice. We will continue to educate the extension agents who work in concert with state universities such as LSU, Texas A&M, Oklahoma State, and Mississippi State, and their agriculture departments. Our concentration will now be on Alabama and New Mexico. Over the summer, Mark Walther, CEO, attended symposiums. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here. And trade shows attended by cattle ranchers and dairy farmers, with whom he had the opportunity to discuss SGP+. He continues to reach out to those ranchers with whom he met. Word of mouth and neighborly referrals have continued to build our customer base. Mark has also conducted a number of podcasts, the most recent being ding, 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 90-minute interview with Buffalo Fireside Chats, your guy right here. All right. It was a comprehensive discussion of all things Impact Fusion, and we actually cut that short. We could have went on for hours. We could have just kept going and going. As previously stated in the most recent letter to shareholders, this is huge here, so pay attention. The company reported that Mark Walther, CEO, had conversations with representatives from India who control 10 sugar refineries, George, you were just talking about that, and have access to feeding 500,000 dairy cattle in the subcontinent. 500,000 cattle. Do the math. We're talking a lot of money. And by the way, I think their profit margin is something stupid like 80%, something like that. It's crazy. In addition, they have expressed interest in our Intact Nutrition product line. The company is pleased to report that we are concentrating on sharing information about how our SGP Plus could help them by establishing a facility in India. We recently received a Farage analysis, Farage, I'm just going to say, I'm just being goofy, guys, analysis report, too much reading today, from their laboratory, no, DD is good, in India on their bagasse. All right, so fun to say. Bagasse and OSAC, those are my two new favorite words, by the way, in my investing, my DD words. OSAC, bagasse. I'm so mature. All right, it shows that their bagasse product is superior to ours. All right, so check this out. This can be explained by soil, weather, and sugarcane management. In short, it shows that the lignin content crucial to providing crude protein to the cattle is of higher concentration. So it seems like they would have a really, really good product to work with. Great waste product, essentially, to work with and make money on. I mean, it's unbelievable. They don't know what to do with this crap. I'm serious. The next step in this process, this proposed process, is to have this group ship to us 2 containers of their raw bagasse to our facility. Once received, we will process the product in our facility and ship to our test ranch in Jefferson, Texas. Once the test is successfully completed, we will ship the processed product back to India for testing on their herds following our protocols. That's key, that they make sure that they follow their protocols. All right. And he talked about that in the interview I had with him. So make sure you watch it. I know it's a lot, but check it out. It's free DD. This is understandably a long-term project with a view to establishing SGP Plus 2.0 in India. We are already sourcing equipment and ingredients in the region to start building a logistics and cost platform. We are committed to working with these fine business people to prepare and negotiate a business proposal that will benefit them. And so I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy it right here. If I can know how to do that. All right. So, and I'm going to share that with you guys. So that was an absolutely killer update, and I'm pretty excited. I'm excited for you guys because, you know, the 39 of you that are still here and paid attention. Now you know. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, check out IFUS. Do some DD on it. Here is is this it? Oh, it is it. All right, boom. Sent to you guys, signed, sealed, and delivered. Click on that.
I got a couple more for IFUS too.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Yeah. So first and foremost, you know, if you go to a business school and you talk to your professor, one of the first things they'll tell you when you're going to start a new business is, what is the problem you're trying to solve? And for IFUS, and I'm glad you pulled that up. For IFUS, what the problem that they're solving is twofold. One, it's the expensive and non-consistent price that they have to pay for cattle feed. And the second one is, in the future, the lack of availability and the even higher prices due to drought and basically just climate change in general. The price per cattle was $345 per head, and by supplementing the feed, because it's not a complete exchange, it's just in addition to, it cuts the total cost down to 45 cents per head of cattle. And that is so astronomically large a number that the likelihood for anyone who's spent any time in the country, if you go to any gas station or any diner at 5 or 6 in the morning, you'll see all the farmers sitting around talking, that if you think they're not going to tell their neighbors that they're now saving, you know, potentially 600-700%, on what it is that they were paying to get their cattle to fed and fattened up. And in addition to that, they're healthier. They're having less antibiotics, less injections, less problems, less flies, less issues. They're happier, which again leads to more weight gain and just a healthier product, a better quality product. If that alone was all they did, they would already be one of my favorite OTC companies of all time. But in addition to that, they have another business where using separate technology that it's oil spill cleanup. And one of the advantages of this specific product is that it's absolutely able to be left where it is, and it will break down into a non-toxic form, right? It'll actually break down the hydrocarbons into something that'll just break back into the environment and not cause any issues. I know that they are doing something with sandbags as well. It just seems like they don't ever take a break, and good enough is not good enough for IFUS, and they just have to keep pushing the envelope because it seems like every time I hear something from them or their PRs, they're just solving some other new problem and just doing something else. It's amazing. It's really, really going to be transformative. The only concern I have is that I don't have enough shares. And with India specifically, because I don't think many people realize, because India is a very well-known vegetarian country, and so I think most Americans think that they don't eat meat, but in fact they actually eat and raise quite a bit of cattle. That I think that once it goes there, specifically due to the water shortage issues that you're going to see from the Himalayas having less and less water every year, that's going to be super, super big there. And I really, really expect great things once we start to hear news coming out of India with IFUS.
I mean, if they are able to provide for those 500,000 cattle, it's game over, or it's game on, I should say. It's game on. Yeah, and
they only need one feedlot of 100,000 cows to make this to make this pop. And since 100,000 cows in a feedlot is really not nearly as many as people might realize, that again, I think once you see the first couple of people push through, and there's a couple of hurdles they'll have to jump through, specifically I think for dairy cows and whatnot, that there's a higher standard of testing that'll have to happen to make sure that it doesn't affect the food safety downstream. But with with feed cattle, with steak, I don't see that as being an issue at all. They've already done the testing. It's already come back great. It's showing the weight gain. It's showing the healthier cows. It's showing that it's faster and cheaper, that any one of those things could be adopted as a product individually. Having all of them together makes it not just SGP plus, but super good product.
Yeah. And I think what's really remarkable, sorry, I'm looking at comments here. What I think is really remarkable too is what you mentioned, and that's why I pulled up that comment about the oil spill cleanup. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, to be able to take care of that naturally and efficiently, unbelievable. I mean, these are, and this is like a lot of the things, like a lot of the stocks and companies that we're looking to invest in are things that we really think are going to benefit and change the world and make the world a better place. You had BIXT on, with the galectin inhibitors, the prescription that they're working on, going into phase 3 trials. You have IFUS that is literally trying to save the cattle industry. You have ILUS that is working on multiple fronts for the EV vehicles, for wildfire fighting, for all that stuff. I mean, public safety, all that stuff. Then you have CYBL doing the drones, supplying to the government in the countries that are being attacked and in conflict right now. There's just like, it's nice to find companies that you think the world could make, they can make the world a better place. So I try to look for the benevolence in that. And at the end of the day, I look for management teams that try to get the things done. But I do think IFUS is going to be a home run. And I am glad that I brought it. I by the way, I wanted to get in at 12.1, but I got in at 14.5. And now we're pushing 4. Again, and we're about to close on 5-year highs. So that's it. I mean, like, wasn't this supposed to be a short show today? I think
it's not done yet, buddy. GRPS is about to have its first harvest.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that's going to be huge. You want to talk about a straightforward, good company that people can understand? Shrimp is a wonderful commodity. It's very, very popular. I think that they have one of the biggest organizations right now in this country, west of the Mississippi. They have millions of pounds of shrimp that are getting ready to be harvested. And once they start selling that, and then obviously they'll just keep keep raising more and more shrimp. And they have the ability to scale up. That it's really, really, really incredible listening to how they do it, and with the genetics that most people don't realize how dirty the shrimp industry is. And most shrimp is basically raised in a pit, and they'll just throw bleach and antibiotics in there just to kill off the stuff they have to kill off. And that's what people are eating. And so having conscientious people using really strong genetics and sustainably and conscientious practices and raising them is that I think it's just going to blow the doors off. And I cannot wait to get my first shipment. I mean, as soon as they start harvesting, I'm going to be contacting them to get some.
Dude, and I did reach out to Adam Thomas. We were texting earlier. I asked him if he wanted to jump on, but he had some family stuff going on, so he couldn't. He had obligations. But we do plan on getting together very soon because he says he does want to share some updates. But just like look at this. I mean, guys, these ponds are huge. And by the way, these pumps apparently are working great. You know that
Yeah, I asked him. Those are the new pumps too, with the so they actually can do the higher volume, increased oxygen diffusion.
Yeah, that I know that's awesome. And I'm hoping, like, I could just imagine how the quality is of the shrimp that they're raising is probably very high quality. Harvest is right around the corner. You could see that looks awesome. Man, I better get on these guys. Do I not have their alerts on? My gosh, he's gonna see this and be like, "Hey, I thought we were friends." But yeah, no, they're very active in posting updates. And like you said, it's a simple business to understand. It really is. And I'm just excited. It's just it's a shrimp company, man. But I think they're raising them in a way with that brood stock, especially. There's a lot of money in there, man. I'm getting hungry for shrimp, dude. I don't know. I'm very excited about the company. I do not have shares of GRPS yet. Have not made an entry there, but I do plan.
I do.
You do? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you know what? Like I said, I just like, and no, I didn't get free shares to talk about that. No, I didn't do that. Hey, I'll take them though.
I will pump. I will be a paid pumper for GRPS for shrimp.
Hell out of this.
Just for shrimp.
Just for shrimp.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? You know how good shrimp go with buffalo wing sauce?
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, that's good stuff. But no, and I like Adam. He's a cool guy. And I think that I love the business model. I look what they're going to bring. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm going to make an entry at some point. And I hope that they're freaking huge and successful, So, hey, maybe we'll get in a private placement soon at some point. Once some more liquidity comes our way and we could capitalize on some other investments. I wouldn't mind going big into the shrimp play.
No, like I said, I don't pretend to understand the genetics of it, but I do understand, having lived in Brazil, who raises tons and tons of shrimp, that they're persnickety. They're very difficult. They get bothered very easy. They're very temperamental. They don't like a lot of different things, and it causes issues. And unfortunately, due to the constraints and then cost and other issues, that they're traditionally in these areas not raised in ways that if people saw it, you just see it in the bag frozen in the supermarket, and that's what you pick up. But if you knew how it was being raised, I think one of the biggest selling points is going to be the quality, and it's going to be noticeable, and you're going to be able to taste it. And very few people who have not branched out and done these things, if you've lived your whole entire life, with Pizza Hut chicken wings, and then we bring you to bar bills, I mean, it's really that different. And so I really can't wait to have my first option. I'm going to go get a couple of different other varieties and just do like a blind taste test. And I don't think there's going to be any issue whatsoever picking out their shrimp because of how they're doing it.
Yeah, it's right on. By the way, speaking of Bar Bill's wings, so it was pretty funny. The wife and her friend came back from Bar Bill's, and they went out to lunch the other day, and there were three wings left in a takeout box, and they left for a second. I came downstairs. They weren't gone like 30 seconds. She's like, I'm leaving. Watch the dog. 30 seconds. Come downstairs. Dude, the dog ate 3 chicken wings, like straight up.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, is the dog gonna be all right? Dog was fine. Bigger breed, they'll eat your chicken. But like at least she had some high quality wings, the barbells.
I did
I was gonna
actually
eat the damn things too. Like that's why I left them on the counter. I'm like, I'll nib on these things. I'll. And sure enough, she got them. And she then she started licking the sauce. Then she was starting to tear apart the box. I'm like, are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me, dog.
Yeah, this is something I have not told you privately, so I will share it with you now on the show. I have actually been stopping into all the Tops in the Syracuse area looking for the barbell sauce, but it's not available, so you can only
Really?
get it in Buffalo right now, I think.
I will send you some, man. I'm not even
Oh,
joking.
yeah.
The medium sauce is excellent. It's excellent.
Yeah,
Man,
I'll make sure that I give it to
what
my
we should do?
grandmother.
Let's do a buffalo sauce giveaway. We should.
Sure.
I think we should do that. How many of you guys would accept free hot sauce from Buffalo? I think we should do it. Let's do some kind of
I can tell you one right now because I've been
Discord contest. I think I am going to do that, guys. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah, there's a wonderful, so we'll do barbells too, but there's a wonderful gentleman who set up a kind of like his own personal e-commerce business for expats from Buffalo, where he'll send you some of the more notable products from there and he'll ship it to you. And one of them is gallon jugs of Duff's hot sauce that I send to everywhere I am traveling so that people can have better hot sauces, as chicken wings are pretty ubiquitous now. And it's absolutely amazing every single time. And I still think barbells is even better than that. And that's still going to be the best wing sauce most people have ever had.
Well, I think we're going to do some kind of a cool giveaway for the in our Discord. You know what? Why not? I'll pick out my like 5 favorite buffalo sauces. And I don't know. Let's discuss privately. We'll discuss what our stipulation is going to be to win this buffalo basket. Yeah, man. Well, George, dude, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate having you on here.
No, it's my pleasure. And like I said, the best thing about this, and thank you, Rob, is it's the community that we're trying to build. The one point I would leave you with is one of the things that the SEC did for us as retail investors in the OTC was on September 28th there, when they basically knocked off about 75% of the inactive or shell companies or other things that were allowed to be traded at that point. But after them knocking off 75% of it, you realize you had a 3 out of 4 chance of being in something that wasn't even real.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because of the bear market, a dozen or more companies every single week is being delisted and going down to the expert markets. And so what you're actually seeing is there's less and less companies and less options. And while being on the OTC right now and being available to trade does not guarantee success, having less companies to choose from, those have to survive and be the best companies possible to make it through to the next cycle. When we get to the next cycle, and if that cycle includes the cheap money like we had in the last money with low interest rates, that the likelihood of exponentially more companies coming online is going to happen, which by definition is going to make it more difficult for the average investor to find those companies that are winners. The things that we cover on here, we're passionate about. We've done the due diligence. We think that the companies are winners. Nobody knows for sure, but the fact that they're still bobbing above water right now bodes well for all of us.
Right on, Jordan. Thank you very much for joining me, man. And we'll talk tomorrow. How about that?
Sounds good, brother. Thanks for having me.
We talk every day. Let's be real. All right, man. Peace out. All right, that's all I got. Listen, guys, stay safe out there. Stay well. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. And, share these videos, share these lives, and let people know that we do live due diligence here at the BFC. You guys have a great night. Are you ready for it? Yeah, my mouse isn't. There's more that binds us than breaks us. You guys have a good night. Peace out.